These three custom planner spreads are really outside the box. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and every now and then my patrons give me some themes that really challenge me, and these three patrons did that this month. So first of all, we have a spread for Denise, who wants a Super Bowl theme spread for next year's Super Bowl, which will be in New Orleans. So I have some graphics, I have some Live Love Posh stickers, maybe, that we're going to try to make work. So we're going to do that. Then we have a spread for Angie, who requested Raggedy Ann and Andy. Love them. That one's going to be fun. And then Xiomara is always challenging me. She asked for Pastel Goth, which I had never heard of before, but we're going to see what we can come up with for her. So I will link everything that I use down in the description box below. Otherwise, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. All right, today we are going to start with Denise's spread. She uses the venti size, and this month I chose a vertical spread for her, and she asked for a Super Bowl themed spread, specifically the upcoming Super Bowl in February that will take place in New Orleans. So that was a little bit tricky because, of course, at this point we don't know who is going to be in the Super Bowl. So you can't really go with team colors necessarily. And so it was a little tricky to try to figure out what angle I wanted to take. So we're going to celebrate a little bit of New Orleans. We have the New Orleans skyline right there. I looked on Google Images. I literally just searched New Orleans skyline, grabbed an image and created a sticker from it. And then I also searched for the Super Bowl logo. Every Super Bowl has a new logo each year. And so I went ahead and downloaded the LAX logo, and it has this red in it because it has these really bright tones for New Orleans. Here's the tricky part. All of the football stickers that I have, the football themed ones, a little bit more toned down. Specifically, this set from Live Love Posh had some nice football stickers in it, but some of them were very fall themed, which is appropriate because normally football is in the fall. And there were a lot of purples and blues, which definitely did not mix with the Super Bowl logo. So I had to figure out how I was going to connect the two different color schemes. The way I decided to do that specifically was with the yellow. So I thought there were some yellow mixed in to some of the football stickers. So I went with that. And then of course, yellow in the logo. That's what we're going to go with. And then I'm going to bring out red. Now, here is the funny thing. I actually am a pretty big football fan. I love watching football. The Kansas City Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl. I think they won 2 in a row. I think if they were trying to go for another one, this would be their 3rd one. And their colors are red and yellow. So I don't know if this is anticipating that perhaps they will be back in the Super Bowl, but if not, of course, there are many teams that have red in it. So we're just going to go with the red and the yellow as the main colors in this particular spread. Right now I'm looking at adding some functional boxes, and I'm choosing red boxes. Luckily, right before I worked on the spread, I just received the Mojo Jojo Plans red boxes and more that I purchased during her Black Friday sale. So I needed all the red boxes in order to wrap up this spread. I did a double box over on Saturday versus Sunday because I figured she could write out her plans for Super Bowl party, things like that over on that box. And then I just dispersed boxes throughout the spread to make this a functional looking spread for Denise. Like I do many a times when I am working on planner spreads, I was using these sticker guides from the Happy Planner to plan out where all of these boxes are going to go, to kind of sketch it out before I put it actually on the paper. And I changed things up as I was moving it to the paper. The boxes are primarily in the same place, but I moved where the decorative stickers were, and I like how it came together in the end. So I'm glad I made those kind of last minute adjustments to make this work. The other really big element that I'm going to bring in, I wanted to make sure that this felt like New Orleans. So there were lots of different ways I could have gone. I could have gone with like a Mardi Gras kind of feel, which I think will be the vibe in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. But I decided to really just emphasize the music because, of course, there's amazing music in New Orleans. And luckily, when I pulled out a third sticker book from Keleva Plan, there were some football stickers that had the gold and the red, and there were some marching band stickers, which I love. And I know that Denise will appreciate the marching band instruments because her son participated in marching band in high school, because I've made marching band themed spreads for her in the past. So we're going to kind of emphasize the music as well. I'm putting a few more football elements and then mixing in the musical notes. Because of course there's gonna be some great music at the Super Bowl besides just the halftime show, but a lot more happening with that New Orleans theme. Once I sketched out where some of the main elements are going to go, then I go ahead and start transferring things over to the actual paper. Now, the last thing that I wanted to do for the spread, once I get the music notes in place, or the music in place, was add a touch more music notes. And so I decided to sketch in some. I had to like plan out where those were going to go so that they did not disrupt the rest of the spread. So before I start drawing them in, I figured I should go ahead and add some bullet points instead of going with red for the bullet points, which was my initial thought. What I ended up deciding to do is go with black bullet points. Brings out the black in the skyline, brings a little contrast. There was already a ton of red on the page. Let's go with black instead. I'm going to add bullet points kind of throughout the spread so Denise has some task lists and some space to write things to do during the week. Then I'm going to sketch in a few music notes coming out of the trumpet and kind of soaring across the spread. I love how this one came out. It challenged me. I can do a Super Bowl spread, I can do a team spread, but something about creating a spread when I didn't know the teams that were playing, that was definitely out of the box. Denise, I very much hope you love your Super Bowl spread. Those of you that are watching, let me know, who do you think is headed to the Super Bowl? Now's your chance to go ahead and put that out into the universe. What team are you cheering on this time around? And I hope you all like Denise's spread. Let me know what you think down below. And would you do a Super Bowl themed spread in your planner? Oh, the last thing I'm going to need to do is date the spread, because we do know when the Super Bowl is. So I'm going to pull out the Date It Basics Volume 4 from Keleva Plan, because there are some great red stickers in there with numbers. We're going to add that at the top, and that'll be it for Denise's spread. Next up is Angie's Spread. Angie also uses the vertical layout, but this time it is in the grande size, which is the same size as a classic Happy Planner. Oops, I accidentally grabbed an extra page. All right, we're going to play with washi tape on Angie's Spread to create a fun background. I recently did a project with some of my Patreon members on a Zoom call where we did some washi art, and it inspired me to dig into that washi tape stash. Use your washi tape for a lot of different things. In this case, I'm just playing with making it a background. I'm taking this blue and white striped washi. I believe this is from Plannything. That's my guess. And we're going to make diagonal lines across this middle row of boxes. I'm going across both sides of the page. Yes, I'm overlapping, going outside the lines, and then I'm going to come back with a craft knife to cut out and clear out and just have the washi tape be in the lines that are in the middle boxes. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. There's several ways you can do this. You can use a washi cutter. You can use a precision knife, like one of those little knives that looks like a pen, or I'm just using my craft knife. So I'm very carefully just slicing through right here on the line, and then I use my tweezers to peel up the washi that I don't want, and this will clear out the space, and it creates a cool background to build on top of. I love the like gingham kind of look that the striped washi brings in, and I think it's a fun way to add interest to a spread that is really just going to involve two different colors. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. I removed all of the extra washi, and now I have a clear palette, I guess, to work with. I just have my background. You could have accomplished this with scrapbook paper as well, but washi tape is fun to play with. All right, I'm adding function before I add any more decorative pieces because I wanted there to be plenty of lists. Angie likes bullet points over a checklist. So we're going to do red bullet points at the top, blue at the bottom. Obviously, the two colors I'm going to go with for Raggedy Ann and Andy would be red and blue. And I grabbed, again, images off of the internet that I then created stickers with that I'm going to use to decorate the spread. I ended up not bringing in a lot of extra stickers. So I do have just the images of Raggedy Ann and Andy. I decided I don't need to bring in florals. I don't need to bring in accessories or anything like that. We're just going to celebrate the dolls in their most pure form, I guess you would say. And I'm going to just play with the placement of those across the page so that it really brings the attention to those specific stickers. If you bring in a lot of other elements, a lot of other florals or other pieces, it can distract from the main point of the spread. So we're just going to really emphasize that. We're going to put a vertical box over on the left-hand side, a great place for a list for the week. And then I'm just going to play with putting Raggedy Ann and Andy across the spread and grouping them with different color boxes. Now, all three spreads that I am working on today are very specific, very themed spreads. And I don't think that most people do this specific of a spread each and every week, but I think there are times during the year that kind of call for it. Maybe you are celebrating a loved one, a kiddo or a grandkid that loves Raggedy Ann and Andy, and you want to kind of celebrate their birthday or something like that. Maybe you're celebrating a specific event with a specific theme. Maybe you're just wanting to do something to lift your mood and you're kind of wanting to reflect on some of your favorite things, and they might be the most random things. We all have those little things in our lives that we love that are seemingly random to other people, and that is totally fine. I love that creative planning gives us the opportunity to really celebrate those things in our lives. So that's why I love the Raggedy Ann and Andy spread. This one means a lot to me. My oldest sister actually used to love Raggedy Ann when she was little, and so we had a Raggedy Ann doll growing up that had been hers when she was younger, and so it was fun to kind of look back and see these dolls and think about those times. I love these kind of throwback feels. I think that reminds all of us of some different elements of our childhood. As I transfer things from the sticker guides onto the page, you'll see that I focused the red boxes in that middle section, the blue boxes at the top and the bottom, and then had switched up where all of the bullet points are going to go. At the last second, I do end up adding one additional Raggedy Ann doll on the bottom right. Otherwise, they're primarily focused in that middle section. This spread, it came out so cute. I love it. It's so fun to create these like really special, unique spreads. This one is super cute. Definitely one that I would use in my planner. And I love that technique of the washi in the middle. That is something that I want to incorporate in my planner as well. So it's fun experimenting. It's fun pushing myself with some of these spreads. And let me know what you think. This is Angie's Raggedy Ann and Andy spread, red and blue. Let me know what you think down below. And next up is probably the one that challenged me the most this time around. Okay, let's talk about Xiomara's spread. She requested a monthly layout, and the theme that she requested was Pastel Goth, which I didn't really know what that meant. So I literally Googled it, and I found this cute image. It says the anatomy of Pastel Goth. Spooky headwear, pastel hair, not a must but preferred. Spooky and pastel print, primary black clothing, gothic or pastel bottom, gothic elements, platform shoe. I just thought it was cute that it had it all labeled, and considering I did not know what pastel goth meant, I thought it would be fun to kind of put this sticker onto the page. Now I'm mixing several different sticker books. Pastel Goth has a lot of pastels, obviously, but has this like black twist to it, which is super fun. So we're going to incorporate Cosmic Watercolor, has these like eerie clouds, brings in some of the black. Then I also ended up using Chic Crafter from Live Love Posh, a very random combination, not one that I would have ever put together before, but I think it comes together pretty darn nicely. And I thought for Xiomara, this is a very specific spread because it's celebrating her love of planning and paper crafting, her love of all things goth, her love of pastel. This is like all the things for her. I'm hoping it's a spread that she very much enjoys. I enjoyed making it. It was a challenge to kind of learn a new style, but it was awesome. It was very cool getting to work on this particular spread. All right, so the key to mixing and matching sticker books, especially ones that wouldn't typically relate to each other, is making sure that you are overlapping or creating these clusters of stickers so that the sets, so that they are like talking to each other. They work together throughout the page. I don't want any space where it's just one particular type of sticker. I'm always mixing and matching. So primarily I'm using the pastel florals in the Live Love Posh sticker book, and then mixing it with the dark cloud elements, the starry elements, just to bring in some contrast to those pastels. So I think that is primarily what that pastel goth is. It's like those light pastels contrasted with the really dark black that you would think normal with a goth kind of feel to it. It is a different look for sure, but one that I thought turned out pretty darn cute. So I love that the decorations primarily around the edges. Before I get too far, I do want to pull out a dated sticker book. I'm going to use, again, Keleva Plan Dated Basics Volume 4 to add January 2025. Crazy. We're going to add that at the top, and then I will, of course, go ahead and date it for her. Some of the dates go over the top of some of the stickers that are already on the page. That works perfectly fine. And if and when Xiomara needs to add things to her calendar, she can just add in some functional boxes throughout, probably in those lavender colors mixed with black, kind of switching off between those two. And once I get this dated, that is going to wrap it up for these out-of-the-box custom planner spreads. And now it's your turn. Let me know which of these caught your eye. Was it the Super Bowl spread? Was it the Raggedy Ann and Andy spread? Or was it the Pastel Goth spread? Very different spreads. Which one kind of spoke to you the most today? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I will link all of the supplies that I used down in the description box below, so be sure to check those out. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you haven't already, be sure to head over to patreon.com/ScrappyWife. I promise you 2025 is going to be a year you don't want to miss over on Patreon, and there's some special bonuses going on right now. So head on over and find a tier that works for you. All right. I hope that you have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.